Thanks for tuning in to the Larks pregame show as the final game of a three-game series happens tonight here at 6 o'clock start time. Originally it was 7 o'clock, but they pushed it back to 6. Just get the series over with as the Larks have already won the series 2-0. And right now, if we take a look at the Rocky Mountain Baseball League standings, the Larks are listed at 4-0. It should be 4-1. We're still waiting for them to correct that. But either way, they'd still be at the top. It would be a three-way tie between the Roughriders and the BJs, who are both 5-2 at the moment. And then below them, the Western Nebraska Pioneers, who are coming up this weekend to play down here in Hayes. The Fort Collins Foxes behind them, 3-3, tied with the Game Day Angels, who are 3-3. And then the Denver Cougars, 1-6. And the Dodge City A's, 1-4. This year, it feels like the Rocky Mountain Baseball League is going to be a lot more interesting than the past couple of seasons.
Yeah, this is the time where the Larks are kind of proving themselves right now. After that loss, they turn around and get a win in this series against Colorado, who was the top team in the league. And then next series is against Western Nebraska, one of the other top teams. So it's going to be an interesting stretch for the Larks.
And the big thing about tonight's game, they already won the series, so they're just going for the sweep now. So Larks are able to try some new things out, and everything's been going well. The pitching, the hitting, even the defensive side. I mean, things are going really well for the Larks, and they can just try some new things out tonight as they look to try to get the sweep.
Yeah, it's been very impressive to see the batting and the pitching work together to get the wins. If we look at those past games on the pitching side of things, Dalton Campbell in that first game came in through 5 innings and shut down Colorado, getting 5 strikeouts and only allowing 3 hits. And then after that, Adrian Najjar and Garrett Hicks got their first action of the season and combined for 3 strikeouts and 42 pitches and no hits allowed. And then last night, Blake Lembeck got his first start. I believe it was his first start, pitching 4 innings and getting 4 strikeouts and being backed up by Mac Ortner and Logan LaPierre against a very talented Colorado team who's only had 5 combined hits this series, in which they entered with 47 through 5 games.
Yeah, and Lembeck tonight, he will be up here during the top of the 3rd inning. We'll have a live interview for you guys. Very excited about that. as lbeck's taking the time out of his day to come up here and talk with us. It'll be for the whole half inning, possibly more if the inning goes by pretty quickly. But it should be a good one. Larks certainly have a lot of stress on their shoulders. They're just trying to get a win and just have fun, try some new things, figure out where they're at, and go forward with it. As we are only 17 minutes away from first pitch, we'll give you guys the batting order, defensive lineman, and tonight's starting pitcher as the Larks face off against Colorado Roughriders in the final game.
Hayes Larks! So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! Join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks!
Happy Father's Day to all of you fathers out there tuning in here on the Larks Network as Game 3's finale is here. As the Larks have already won the series against the Colorado Roughriders, but they look for the sweep here tonight.
And tonight on the mound, it'll be Nolan Wilson getting his second start of the year, already having pitched 4 innings this year, has yet to give up an earned run, and also has a strikeout as well on the year and holding his opponents to a batting average just right at 100.
Yeah, and Wilson, he has pitched a couple more times, but however, for stats-wise and such, we only have conference play this year. So all we had right now for his conference starts was on June 8th versus the Denver Cougars, where he went 4 innings of work, didn't allow an earned run, allowed 1 base hit, 1 walk, and struck out 1 batter. So he's got an ERA of 0.00 and a whip of 0.50, as he's been one of the strong arms on the team. He came out of the bullpen the other day in the Kansas game, and, I mean, that he had another stellar performance.
And another key for the Larks will, without a doubt, be to get off on a strong start on the pitching side, just how they've done the other 2 games. Coming into this series, Colorado had 3 or 4 batters going above 400, and coming into this game, they only have 1 now, and that's Gabe Dalton right at 400.
As first pitch almost underway here at Larks Park, the Roughriders having a bit of a change in the batting order, as Ian Baldwin, he'll be at the top of the lineup in left field. Gabe Dalton, the third baseman, batting second. Batting third, Dylan Horan, the catcher. Batting fourth, the cleanup spot, the DH, William Gizriel. Batting fifth, Garrett Reddy, the center fielder. Batting sixth, Cannon Frost, the right fielder, who drops down the lineup for tonight. The first baseman, Aaron Kidd, bats seventh. The shortstop, Wes Miller, in the 8th spot. And the second baseman, Ethan Quinn. Wilson gets into the full, fires it in there. That one just inside for ball number 1, as the Larks' first pitch starting at 6:07 here today.
A little warmer than the previous nights as well. It's 94 degrees here at the first pitch tonight, and the wind's stronger than the previous nights as well, 20 miles per hour at first pitch.
Next pitch misses inside as well for a ball. Scout moves to 2-0 here at the top of the order hitter, and Ian Baldwin, he'll throw this one out to left center field. Running back, running near it. Diving effort from the center fielder in. Duncan goes off with the glove. A great effort from him, as that will be a leadoff single for Ian Baldwin. Bringing up the number 2 hitter for the Roughriders, and Gabe Dalton. He'll move over to the third base position tonight. Featured in the shortstop position in the first 2 games. But Wes Miller, he will alternate as well, as he'll go from third to short here for tonight's conclusion game here at Larks Park. First pitch outside. Ball number 1, the at-bat. Would like to make a quick comment as we appreciate the feedback from last night's game. Garrett Gruel's home run, unfortunately, we did not get that on camera. We got it, his swing, but unfortunately I didn't switch the camera, so unfortunately didn't see the ball go out of the park. Thank you guys for hitting us up in the email and letting us know, as wanting to give you guys the best shots. So we'll keep working on that tonight, making sure the main game camera, where you see the whole field, is in action the whole time. As Wilson ahead in the count here, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It would be his second strikeout of the year if he can get 1 more by him right here.
Next pitch runs outside. Count moves to 2-2. Carpenter over at second base tonight. He's playing close to the second base bag. With the left-handed batter up. Shortstop and Tabor Stokes back over there, running it in the middle with Carpenter. Both of them in double play position. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Looked like a slider from Nolan Wilson, and he gets his first punch out on the day. Bring up the catcher, and Dylan Hearn.
Dylan Hearn went 1 for 3 last night with a Colorado team that's struggled to get their bats going through the first 2 games, as he picked up a single last night.
The pitching rotation for tonight's contest will go Wilson, Kevin Goss, and then Luke Turbeek, as a fly ball to right field, right to the right fielder. Espinal takes a couple steps to his left, but makes the grab for out number 2. Takes us to the cleanup batter, and William Gizriel.
Israel's entering this game with a batting average of .333 and one of the team leaders in RBIs with 5.
His first pitch looks like a slider that missed. It was way outside the zone. Larks rocking their all-white attire tonight. Got the blue Larks across the chest. And got some, looks like a bit of red stripes along the end and around the Larks lettering around the chest. Next pitch swung on and missed by Gizriel. Count moves to 1-1. Defensive alignment, Baker in left, Duncan in center, Espinal in right. Stokes and Carpenter running it up the middle. Running the hot corners in Lissy and Gilchrist tonight. And behind the dish for his third time in a row in Houston, Russell. He was the first Lark to go back-to-back games behind the dish, and now he's the first Lark to go back-to-back-to-back games behind the dish. They've been trying some new guys out behind there, and Will Carpenter, Gage Gilchrist. But Houston Russell is the sole catcher on the team, as he was brought in as a catcher slash first baseman. Next pitch here to Gizriel will be fouled back. Count remains 1-2. One ball, two strikes. Baldwin over at first. This one put into play. A little bouncer to the third baseman, Lissy. Picks it up, takes a step, fires to first. A good throw, but not in time. As trying to stretch out was Gilchrist, but the speed of Gizriel beats the throw.
And we've seen that situation a few times in this series, as we've seen balls just go slowly to the fielder, and the runners are just able to get there in time.
As apologies, as I, once again from last night, forgot to switch the camera over to the main game. Trying to get that fixed for you guys. This one gets behind Russell and heads to the backstop. Advancing to third is Baldwin. He'll round third, but remain at third. Advancing to second is Gizriel. That's now two runners in scoring position for the Roughriders. Roughriders already have 2 base hits in the game. First time they've been able to do that here in the series in the first inning. This will be put into play. Pass the shortstop in Stokes in the left field. That will score one run. The throw in from left field. A good throw on the hop, but unable to corral together was Houston Russell, as that will go off of his chest. As 2 runs come around to score after the 2 RBI single from Garrett Reddy.
And the Roughriders finally doing what they struggled to do through the first 2 games of the series, as they're finally getting their bats warmed up early, something they were unable to do in the first 2 games.
I mean, if you're a Roughriders fan, this is the start you wanted, but for the Larks, not the start you want, as first pitch here to Cannon Frost be fouled back. It was a bang-bang play over at first on the Lissy ground ball. Possibly could have gone the other way. Next pitch thrown out to right field, but out of play. Wilson ahead in the count, 0-2. The 0-2. This one finds his own strike 3. Frost knew it, as Wilson gets 2 punch-outs in the top of the first, but 2 runs do come around to score, as the Larks bats look to get stuff going here early on, as they find themselves down by 2. There's your batting order brought to you by Biggie Meats. Trent Baker lead off. Caden Ashton batting second. Caleb Duncan batting third. Wilbert Espinal in the cleanup spot. Houston Russell fifth. Will Carpenter sixth. Tabor Stoats seven. Eighth, Gage Gilchrist. And ninth, Thomas Lissy. As to the mound, Wyatt Morwood for the Colorado Roughriders. So he'll face off against the top of the order hitter and Trent Baker. First pitch to Baker will be thrown out to center field. A high fly ball for the first at-bat to Baker. Running in, still is ready as he'll finally make the catch after a high fly ball. There's now one out here in the bottom of the first, which brings us to Caden Ashton, the DH.
The designated hitter from the University of Kansas, number 8, Caden Ashton.
So one pitch, one out for the Roughriders. Colorado already off to a better start than their first two games, as this is their first lead of the series as they're up 2-0. This one run inside Ashton for ball one. Caden Ashton batting .455 on the year, 5 for 11. 5 hits and 11 at-bats. In those 5 hits, he's came around and scored 5 times, and on top of that, he's had 2 walks as well. Also hit his first home run as a Lark. Next pitch to Ashton finds the zone. Ashton will put this one to the second baseman, and this will go under the glove of Quinn into right center. Rounding first and second. The throw in, not in time. The speedy Caden Ashton will advance to second on the E4. Just under the glove of Quinn. Came up with it too early before he got to the ball, and Caden Ashton takes advantage of it.
That's been the problem with Colorado for this entire series, just errors from the fielders and the Larks just being able to take advantage of them.
Yeah, and this Rough Rider team coming into this one, they were to be watched out for. They made a real statement going 5-0 to start the year off, and now they're having a bit of trouble here in the Larks series. His first pitch of Duncan runs inside for ball one. I mean, we talked about this. This was the test for the Rough Riders. Were they the real deal or not? It's the 1-0 pitch. First strike the bat to Caleb Duncan. Second baseman Quinn holding Ashton on over at second. Next pitch from Morwood, put into play by Duncan into center field. That'll find the hole between the diving second baseman and shortstop. Ashton will run home and score with ease as an RBI single from Caleb Duncan puts the Larks on the board.
It looks like we're going to be in for a batting battle tonight. 1-2 games for the first inning so far.
The right fielder from Alabama State.
That's how you respond back after 2 runs at the top of the first from the Rough Riders, as now the Larks have a run on the board. Sorry, go ahead.
And that'll bring up Wilbert Espinal coming off of a game last night where he went 2 for 5, getting 2 singles on the night and crossing the plate 2 times as well.
First pitch here to Espinal, ruled a ball as he'll get ahead in the count here early. He's had 3 RBI performances in the 4 conference games played.
And that's made him the leader in the RBI category for the Larks with 7 so far.
Being the cleanup batter, you're going to have a lot of RBI opportunities, and Espinal has been that guy for him this year. Espinal ripped in the right field, but this one's going to tail foul near the Rough Rider pin. Gave that one a ride. Duncan over at first. This one down low for a ball. Ashton came around to score the first run of the game for the Larks after that RBI single from Duncan. Duncan did record a stolen base in last night's game. We'll see if he's on the move here as this one runs inside. Good eye by Espinal. That'll be ball 4. And heading down to first base is Espinal. And heading to second is Duncan. Bringing up the catcher, Houston Russell.
One of the players for the Larks last night that got on every time he stepped up to the plate after getting a single being his only hit. The other times were a walk and also being hit by a pitch as well.
The pitch from Morewood here to Russell outside for the first ball of the at-bat. Houston Russell leads the team in batting average at .667 in the 3 games he's played so far. And the count here 2-0 with Duncan at second, Espinal at first. The 2-0 pitch. This one, good eye as he'll find the zone, and Russell gets ahead in the count 3-0. It's 1 RBI on the year, has a chance to drive in one here with Duncan at second. This one will find the zone. First strike of the at-bat. 3 balls, 1 strike here to Houston Russell, the catcher. 3rd game in a row behind the dish. Russell will put this one to play to the shortstop and Miller. He'll go the short way to second base in time for out number 2. So they'll get Espinal out heading to second base, but advancing to third is Duncan.
The second baseman from Ohio State University.
Bringing up the second baseman, Will Carpenter. He's back in the lineup today.
Only saw him on 1 at-bat last night as he came in as a pinch hitter in the 5th inning for Houston Russell, but was used as a courtesy runner on the 3 times that Russell got on base, so he scored 3 runs last night.
First pitch to Carpenter will find the outside part of the plate for strike 1 of the at-bat. Carpenter was here early to the ballpark today, taking some hacks off the tee in the batting cage. Gotta love the hustle and the grind as this one will be fouled off the dugout of the Roughriders. Looks like our first base coach today is, looks like Luke Terbeek. It looks like him. Andy Luton, he'll take over the head coaching job today. Frank Leo out of town. On the move, heading to second is Houston Russell. No throw, needed a great jump for Houston Russell.
And he continues to be the Larks leader in that category. That's now his 5th stolen base on the year.
A guy you did not expect to lead that category just continues to add to it. It's the 1 ball, 2 strikes. This one swung on and missed at a curveball as that'll be out number 3. As we'll head to the top of the second, Larks able to get 1 run thanks to Caden Ashton and the RBI single from Caleb Duncan. As to the top of the second we go, 2-1 Colorado. Nolan Wilson will head back to the mound for a second inning of work, as they were Roughriders were able to score 2 runs in the top of the first inning, but Wilson looking to come back stronger than ever as first pitch here outside for ball 1 of the at-bat here to Aaron Kidd.
Aaron Kidd last night went 1 for 2, getting on 2 times through a ground rule double, which was almost a highlight play for the Larks, and then a walk as well later on.
Wilson, who throws the fastball, cutter, split change, slider, and a sweeper. 5 pitches. That's what you expect from a starting pitcher now these days. A lot of relief guys, they only have about 3 or 4 pitches. But for starters, you got to have an arsenal, and Nolan Wilson has that. 2-1 fouled off of the leg of Kidd. As count moves to 2-2. Nolan Wilson, sophomore right-handed thrower out of Houston Christian University. Hitting the right field, but out of play.
Saw action in 9 games with the Huskies, and in those appearances was able to pick up 6 strikeouts for the limited time that he played.
A 2-2 once again. This one will run outside, look like the sweeper. Full count pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. Third punch out of the day for Nolan Wilson, as the Larks have 1 away.
The shortstop, number 1, Wes Miller.
Bring up the shortstop, Wes Miller.
Anyway, that's
He looks to make his first at-bat on the young day.
Playing in his 8th game of the year for the Roughriders, so he's played in every one of their league games. Has picked up 6 runs on 5 off of 5 hits so far this year, and is one of their leaders in stolen bases with 2 on the year.
where she going. That's where they're all meeting.
1-0. Is this one barely a half swing, a check swing, and fouls it back. So it'll be the first strike of the at-bat to Miller. Friendly reminder, during the top of the third, Blake lbeck will come up here to the press box. Get to talk with him a bit. He's made a great couple appearances on the mound since joining the Larks. As this one hits the left side, Thomas Lissy fields it off the hop, fires it to Gilchrist in time for the second out. Brings us to the 9-hole batter, and Ethan Quinn.
Ethan Quinn had a day of rest yesterday and is back tonight for the Roughriders.
First pitch here to Quinn will run inside from Wilson. Ethan Quinn grew up in Parsons, Tennessee. So this one misses outside. Count moves to 2-0. Nolan Wilson is listed as 6 foot, 205 pounds. Grew up in Hockley, Texas. The 2-0 here from Wilson. Finds his zone for the first strike of the at-bat here to Ethan Quinn. I think you just said it, but I believe Quinn appeared in Game 1. Did he appear in yesterday's game?
No, got a day of rest yesterday.
As this one fouled off by Quinn. I want to say he was over at second base as well for Game 1. As a thumbs up means yes, as Ethan Quinn back over at second base for a second time this series. The 2-2 from Nolan Wilson. This one, line drive right back to the pitcher. Must have hit off the turf as he throws the first in time for out number 3. As a 1-2-3 for Nolan Wilson. Bottom of the second we go. Colorado leads this one 2-1. Bottom of the second, as that brings up Tabor Stokes, Gilchrist on deck, and in the hole, Thomas Lissy, 7, 8, and 9 due up. First pitch misses for a ball. Count moves to 1-0 here at the shortstop in Tabor Stokes.
And he's coming off of a big game last night, 4 for 4 on the night. All of those were base hits, and he crossed the plate one time last night as well.
Him and Garrett Gruhl were the players of the game last night. It was hard to decide which one, as Gruhl was able to get a double and a home run, but Tabor Stokes just did everything right, going 4 for 4, 2 RBIs, and that. I mean, all of them are singles, but heck, I mean, a great performance for Tabor Stokes. It's the 2-1 pitch will just miss the zone.
And that was the key for the Larks last night, just chip away against the pitching against Colorado, just getting base hits and doubles, and then just work your way to a bigger lead.
3-1 pitch, a hard hit ground ball that goes foul. After last night's game, it brought his average up to .429 on the year. Full count here with no outs. Middle infield playing on the edge of the grass. This one fought off, and staying alive is Tabor Stokes. Was the cleanup batter for Butler Community College. Second on team in RBIs with 52. First in stolen bases with 25. This runs inside. Ball 4. Head down to first base, Tabor Stokes. As that brings us to Gage Gilchrist.
Gilchrist got a day of rest last night and is one of the top batters for the Larks this season. .571 average on the year, and is one of the leaders in the category of walks as well with 3.
See if the leadoff walk works in favor of the Larks. Stepping off the mound, and they're going to call a balk on Morwood as Stokes will head down to second base. Great job on Stokes' part.
Yeah, was watching the pitcher Morwood very carefully, kind of let off a little bit, and then was able to draw the balk from that.
Yeah, he was just dancing over there and caught the pitcher and Morwood off guard as this one fouled over the stands. So now Stokes is at second base. Gilchrist with an RBI opportunity. He's got 2 on the year. Stokes on the move, stepping off the mound. The throw over, not a good throw as it was up high. And stealing third is Tabor Stokes. So aggressive the Larks are being right now. And, I mean, really just Tabor Stokes.
He's just been watching the pitcher really closely in the time that he's been on the bases in this inning. Just saw his opportunity as he was getting ready to deliver.
As this goes to the backstop, and Stokes doesn't really have to hustle too hard on this one, as that will tie the ball game. And that's what happens with good base running like that. Able to get a balk. He was dancing over there, messing with the pitcher's rhythm. Then he figured out the pitcher's rhythm at second base and was able to steal third while his head was down, as Gilchrist rips one that goes near Luke Terbeek, but foul. But, I mean, great job realizing the pitcher's rhythm and making him get out of that rhythm. Got him to step off the mound. And, I mean, a perfect throw. I don't even know if it still would have got him at third.
Yeah, it was just a really creative way to get home. A balk, a stolen base, and then a pass ball.
As now that ties the ball game 2-2, as Gilchrist will hit this to the right side, but a line drive to the first baseman who comes over a few and makes the catch. Hard hit ball from Gilchrist, but that'll be out number 1 as we bring up Thomas Lissy.
Another player for the Larks that was perfect last night, going 2 for 2 on the night. reaching base 4 times through a walk and an error, and then a double and a single as well.
Lissy is on a 4-game hitting streak when it comes to conference games. He's had a double in 3 of his 4 games, and the hit streak will continue through the right side, through the hole for a base hit. As both Gilchrist and Lissy hit it near the first baseman, but Lissy able to put it on the ground and get it past the first baseman and Kidd.
Top of the Larks batting order.
So that brings us to Trent Baker.
Trent Baker.
Shout out to Trent Baker, as we found out today that he will be transferring from Houston Christian to Lamar University.
That's a big deal for him. He's going to provide a lot of experience for this team. Lamar coming off of a 44-15 year in the Southland Conference, just a few games away from winning the conference and making it to the NCAA baseball tournament, just falling short against McNeese State.
And for Trent Baker to go from one D1 school to another, that just shows the amount of talent this guy has. As he'll put this one on the ground to the shortstop, he'll go to second for 1, on to first, in time, double play, as that will end the second inning. Stay tuned for the top of the third as Blake Lembeck will make his way up here to the press box, and we'll have a nice interview with him. As you just saw the Larks pitching tracker, Blake Lembeck was on there as he threw 58 pitches in yesterday's game, and I got him up here in the press box for our first live interview on the season. Blake, thanks for coming up here. I mean, what do you got to talk about your time with the Larks? Like, how has it all been so far?
Yeah, it's definitely been very fun so far. I got here a couple weeks ago, and really from the start, we just really bonded well as a team. All the guys are really cool. And we're being able to play at a high level right now and have fun while doing it. So I've really enjoyed everything about it so far. It's been really fun.
I mean, you've been dominating right now. I mean, you went 4 innings of work against the Roughriders yesterday, no runs, one walk, 4 strikeouts. And then the Denver Cougars game, 4 innings of work coming into that weird game where you had to basically start, but you started in the 4th inning. What was that like? Did it change kind of how you went into the game, or how did it really affect you?
I would say the night before, it was kind of weird because I got hot and I was ready to pitch and I was out there on the mound ready to throw, and then it got canceled right when I was getting ready to get out there and start working. And then after that happened, I just kind of had to move on in my mind and treat it like a start the next day, and then just it was just like any other start the next day.
I mean, you did great taking over for Ismail.
Thank you.
As Nolan Wilson, he gets a strikeout here. That'll be his 4th on the day. But, I mean, what is the goal? Because, I mean, the Larks, you know, you come here, you're obviously trying to improve as a player and figure out where your game needs to get better at. Does the competitiveness still come with it? Do you guys really focus on trying to get you guys self a World Series win?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, summer ball, it's huge about individual improvement and just getting better as a player. But at the same time, every time you're playing the game and competing, you never want to lose. You're always out there trying to win. And obviously the main goal of coming here to Hayes is to win that World Series in August.
As a hit by pitch to Gabe Dalton will send him down to first. Nolan Wilson will have to work with the runner on base. And what's Nolan Wilson like since he's on the mound? Give us your thoughts on him, because we have some good thoughts on him. We're curious what you think.
Yeah, on the mound, I mean, he's a great guy off the mound. I love the guy. But on the mound, he's got that low 3/4 kind of slot. Gets a good little run to his fastball, and then off of that, he'll play that sweeping slider. So when he's in the zone, he's a guy who'll get a lot of outs and a lot of ground balls while doing that with that low arm slot. As I said right there, he gets the double play ball. Great turn by the middle.
And what a play.
Yeah.
Double play to end the half inning. Pretty quick interview up here. Blake, thank you for coming up here and taking the time out of your day. But we'll head to the bottom of the second after basically a 1-2-3. Only faced 3 batters. As the top of or bottom of the third we go, Larks and the Roughriders 2-2.
The designated hitter, number 8, Caden Ashton.
Caden Ashton, Caleb Duncan, and Wilbert Espinal all due up here in the bottom of the third tie. Ball game 2-2. Thank you again to Blake Lembeck for coming up for that live interview. Pretty quick one, as thanks to Nolan Wilson, that 6-4-3 double play to end the top of the third. Kind of made our interview a bit short, but nonetheless, so happy they came up here to talk with us. As Caden Ashton will lead us off here in the bottom of the third.
It's the first player tonight to get on for the Larks in the first run as well, getting on a 2-1 count from an error by the second baseman where it got under his glove, and he just lost it behind him.
As Ashton ahead in the count 3-0 here. As this one will find the zone for a strike. Count moves to 3-1.
It's now 40 pitches thrown on the day from Wyatt Morwood.
Chopper that goes in the foul territory. Luke Turbeek, look at the pitcher over there making a nice play of the first base coach. He's supposed to come into today's game and possibly pitch. It's supposed to go Nolan Wilson, Kevin Goss, and then Luke Turbeek. I mean, Luke Turbeek, he just does what he wants. Look at him, first base coach during the game. Ground balls, shortstop, and Miller. Throw over. Speedy Ashton unable to leg it out, as that will be the first out here in the bottom of the third.
The Larks center fielder at number 12.
Brings us to the 3-hole hitter, Caleb Duncan. Good at bat for him in his last at bat.
Yeah, singled on a 1-1 count and made it all the way to third base, but would be stranded there for the rest of the inning.
As continue to leave comments down below here in our live chat. Let us know how things are going, things you want to see. Is a fly ball to right field. They'll get out of play. Blake Lembeck was a player that you guys mentioned you guys wanted to hear from, so we got him up here. Kevin Goss, I understand your guys' fan base out there, your family's watching. We will get him up here shortly. Don't you worry. He's one of our guys that's up next.
It was kind of fitting to have Lembeck as our interview tonight after a huge game last night, going 4 innings and getting 4 strikeouts and really just shutting down Colorado's bats, which have been impressive before they came into the series.
Yeah, I mean, he won Pitcher of the Week last week, and he could possibly win it again this week because, yeah, on the stats and stuff, it says he only pitched 1 game this week, but he actually appeared in the Wednesday's game against the Kansas Cannons where he went an inning of work and was able to sit down the side. As this pitch to Duncan fouled off, count moves to 1-2. A walk and a double for Caleb Duncan on the young season, including an RBI single in his last at bat. This one will miss outside. Count moves to 2-2. This one fouled off of him. Staying alive is Caleb Duncan. Rocking the shin guard on the front left foot, being the right-handed batter. The 2-2 here to Duncan. Breaking ball that just did not come out of the hand right for Morewood. His count moves to full. Full count pitch. Good eye from Duncan. Ball 4. So he'll head down to first base. Bringing up the cleanup batter and Wilbert Espinal.
The Larks right fielder at number 26.
What is the thing called? Caleb Duncan has it in his back pocket. They use it when they try to steal bases. I forget what it's called. It's the glove. You know what I'm talking about? The base stealing glove. It's like an oven mitt is what some people call it. As he'll put that baby on. It's been a new thing that a lot of base runners have been using this year. As Espinal in the right field, base knock as he'll reach base for a second time today. Off the glove in right field, and heading to third is Caleb Duncan. The throw in, cut off by the shortstop. They throw it over to first, but Espinal gets back to first in time. As a 1-out single advances Duncan to third and Espinal to first.
Duncan reaching third base for the second time in the game, was stranded in the first inning, but now with just 1 out, that'll bring up Houston Russell with a chance to get him in.
Catcher in Houston Russell up to bat now. Espinal was batting .294 heading into this game. That one will put him over 300. And now the guy who leads the team in batting average is Houston Russell. 667 throws us out to left center field. More center field as running in to his right bit is ready. Tagging up is Duncan over at third. The throw in, not cut off by the pitcher, and Duncan will score with ease. The Larks take a 3-2 lead after the sac fly RBI from Houston Russell.
First sacrifice fly of the year for Houston Russell, and the second for the Larks as a team gives them their first lead of the game.
Beautiful stuff from Houston Russell, just doing your part right, as now the Larks have the lead. Bring up second baseman Will Carpenter, first pitch outside part of the zone. Espinal, the lone man on the base path right now. Stepping off is Morwood.
Notice the Larks kind of trying to throw the pitcher off, just leading off, trying to make him think that they're going to take off for second or take off for third.
And it's really good by the Larks because, one, it's working, but two, I mean, that pitcher, Morwood, he's in a rhythm. A lot of these guys that you see out here, they get into the same rhythm as on the move to second base is Russell sliding in safe, or Espinal sliding into second safely after the throw goes past the second baseman to the shortstop's glove. As now Russell at second base here with 2 away.
And it was really the slide that worked to the advantage of the ball getting past the shortstop Miller, as it kind of cut him off as he slid into the base.
So Will Carpenter has a chance to drive in a run here. This one will find the zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Larks lead 3-2 here in the bottom of the third. Carpenter looking to get his first RBI on the season. Been in and out of the lineup. It's been a great platoon utility bat. As this one misses outside, count moves to full. Espinal, the only man on base. He's at second. Nobody behind him at first, so he will not be on the move here with 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 away. Carpenter will foul this one off into the Rough Rider dugout. Nice little catch. Not sure which player that is, but a nice catch by him in the dugout. Espinal taking a bigger step over at second base. Stepping off the mound is Morwood as he looks him back. Larks are just in his head right now. Full count pitch once again. Inside, ball 4. As Carpenter has been walked in 3 of his 4 games, make it 4 of 5 now as he'll head down to first. Brings up shortstop Tabor Stokes.
One of our highlighted players in last night's game, going 4 for 4, has already gotten on once tonight through a full count walk, and then would score to tie the game at 2-2 in the second inning.
A great all-around player. Espinal heading to third. The throw down from the catcher. Not in time. A good slide by Espinal gets under the throw. As that's a double steal. As Carpenter will swipe second on top of it. Espinal's second stolen base in this occurrence. Could he make it 3 and swipe home? We'll have to wait and see. The 1-0 pitch outside. Count moves 2-0. Here to Tabor Stokes. If Stokes can just go opposite field, hit between that first and second baseman, could possibly bring home 2. Something that doesn't get talked about a lot nowadays is in the batting cage and stuff, coaches will actually make the players do situational hitting. And this is a perfect spot for situational hitting because you got a runner at second, third, 2 outs. The goal is to go opposite field with it, bring home Espinal with ease, but with it being hit to right field, that gives the runner in Carpenter at second base enough time to possibly come around and score as well, as he will shoot this out to right field, and this ball will get down, and that will score 1 run. Rounding third and scoring is Will Carpenter, and heading to second base is Tabor Stokes. A 2 RBI double, and the Larks tack on 2 more. Right when we were talking about situational hitting, it happens. We love it. Larks get 2 on that 2 RBI double from Tabor Stokes. We'll have a catcher's mound visit here. Talk things over.
Doesn't look like they have anyone warming up in the bullpen right now for Colorado at the moment, so they'll just talk things over and try to get out of this inning with 2 outs.
With Stokes at second, that's another RBI chance for the Larks here, and Gage Gilchrist hit a really hard hit ball to the right side in his last at bat, but a nice catch by the first baseman and Kidd. First pitch to Gilchrist finds the top part of the zone near the belt. Stokes doing the same thing he did last time on the base path, trying to get in Morwood's head as this one runs inside on Gilchrist.
And it's working right now for the Larks. You'll notice Morwood kind of just quickly looked back right before he delivered the pitch. Make sure Stokes wouldn't take off.
Stokes continues to take a couple lead steps forward, then come right back. This one runs in again on Gilchrist. Got to wonder if it's messing with his command a little bit when Stokes is over there, going back and forth.
I mean, the Larks have already gotten a few stolen bases in this inning, so you'd have to believe that he is thinking about those guys.
As Gilchrist to right field, this ball carrying out the track at the wall, but a catch by Frost right in front of the wall out in right field will be out number 3. But the Larks take the lead after scoring 3 runs in the bottom of the 3rd as they'll head to the 4th. 5-2 Hayes Larks. Nolan Wilson back to the mound for the top of the 4th, as that Larks trivia that was a bit buffed out for some reason, so we'll do that after this half inning. As Wilson back to the mound, this pitch missing outside for the first ball of the at-bat here at the DH and William Gizrael, excuse me.
Gizrael had a single in the first inning on a 1-2 count, and then a couple of Larks errors were able to actually get him around and get him home for the second run of the game. And the Roughriders were going early on, but since then it's kind of died down as the Larks have picked it up defensively.
1-1 pitch from Wilson. This one inside and finds the zone. Strike 2. Wilson ahead 1-2. Wilson, since that first inning, has really been able to settle down and do a good job as this one will run outside. Count moves to 2-2.
Yeah, Wilson's something we've noticed he's done really well putting the ball in the right place, as 3 of the 4 strikeouts that he has so far in the game have been swinging.
It's a 2-2 to Wilson. This one swung on and missed. Strike 3. Nolan Wilson, another punch out.
The center fielder, number 7.
Brings us to the center fielder, and Garrett readied.
Reddy had a single in the first inning where he would get on a 1-0 count and then be stranded there for the rest of the inning as the next batter, Cannon Frost, would go three pitches, all strikes, and would strike out looking.
First pitch finds the zone. One away here in the top of the fourth. Next pitch swung on and miss. What a pitch by Nolan Wilson. He was really early on that. Reddy was not ready for that. Looked like his sweeper in action there. 0-2 count. This one swung on and missed. Looks like he went to the slider there for strike three. Back-to-back Ks, Nolan Wilson.
The right fielder, number 18, Cannon Frost.
As he just passed the 50 pitch mark in this game, that'll bring up another batter that he's struck out today. It's the only one that's been looking so far. As, like I just said, he threw 3 straight strikes for the out.
Chopping ground ball to Lissy on the first in time to end the top of the fourth as the Larks go 1-2-3 thanks to 2 strikeouts from Nolan Wilson. 5-2 Hayes Larks.
Is the Larks third baseman, number 15, Thomas.
Bottom of the fourth, third baseman Thomas Lissy will start us off 9-1-2. Due up, Trent Baker on deck, Caden Ashton in the hole.
Lissy singled in the second inning and on the first pitch of his at-bat.
His first pitch here will be taken for strike one. Lissy, who's now hit safely in 5 conference games. Lissy's a very patient batter. 2 walks on our stats, but in the non-conference game, he was getting about 2 walks or 1 walk in every game. As this one will run inside for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike here to Thomas Lissy.
And it worked to his advantage. Like we talked about earlier, he was able to get on 4 times in last night's game, going 2 for 2 with a double and a single while also getting on through the walk and reaching on an error.
Trying to get on here and possibly get a rally going, as he will. Ball 4, and Lissy will head down to first. Top of the order now, Trent Baker up to bat. The new Lamar University player that was added, I want to say today or recently, probably happened yesterday. Baker ran over to me during batting practice and was like, hey, guess what? Joining Lamar. So excited for him. A lot of potential for Baker in his future baseball career, and glad he's going to be able to go over there and play.
It's really interesting. There's multiple players for the Larks this year that have been gifted with these bigger opportunities.
As the throw down, not in time. Swiping second is Lissy. Lissy, he's got a bit of speed on him.
Like I was saying, the Larks have had multiple players in this offseason who are going, especially from the JUCO to the D1 levels. For example, Caden Ashton going to KU and Wilbert Espinal going to Alabama State.
This one popped up. Get out of play ball. It does. As Baker's at bat will stay alive. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, Caden Ashton, as you said, I mean, going from Northeastern Oklahoma A&M to then go to KU. I mean, I believe there's another guy on the roster off the top of my head. I believe it's Dolan Campbell. That's right. Hill Community College. He's going to go to Texas Tech. Wilbert Espinal, Murray State Community College to Alabama State. It's awesome to see these Larks players get the chance to continue their baseball career at the next level. Trent Baker, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Let's see over at second. The right side pretty well open. Another situational hitting type ordeal. Good eye from Baker as it misses on the outside part of the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch from Morwood. In the right field it goes. That'll get down. Base knock. Heading home. Getting the stoplight by Andy Luton is Thomas Lissy, so he'll stay at third. But Trent Baker gets a base knock in his 3rd at-bat on the day.
The Larks have done really good putting the ball where they have to, as they've just been able to find the gaps in where Colorado has kind of shifted their defense, and it's worked really well so far.
So that brings us to Caden Ashton, who we were just recently talking about, the new KU guy, joining the Jayhawk program over in Lawrence, Kansas. First pitch to the right side, off of the glove to first baseman, and Kidd. Baker will advance to second, and scoring with ease is Thomas Lissy, as that will be an E3 no RBI for Ashton, but he puts a run on the board for the Larks. Bring us the 3 batter, Caleb Duncan. So now runners at first and second. Still nobody warming up. It looks like there might be a guy stretching in the Roughrider pen.
It's kind of tough to tell from our angle, as well as that the net's in our way. But, yeah, you'd have to wonder if Colorado's going to be done with Wyatt Morwood on the day and try to see if another player can shut the Larks down.
This one runs inside, but swung on miss by Duncan for the first strike of the at-bat. What others are not to like about Caleb Duncan, as he's made a good impact for the Larks in his first couple of games. Dancing over at second is Baker, and stepping off the mound is Morwood. Makes you wonder if the Larks' base running was not being so, I don't want to say difficult, but being so antsy on the base path. Could this be a different type of game for Morwood, as the Larks base runners are just doing a job by getting inside of his head?
You'd have to wonder how he's going to feel about the Larks' next batter, Wilbert Espinal, who stole 2 bases on his previous appearance.
Ground ball, 1 out at second, and past the first baseman and Kidd. Baker will come around to score. Ashton was thrown out at second base. Remaining at first is Caleb Duncan. So they do get 1 out, but there is also an error on the second baseman. An E4 has our production man Ace Newberger doing the job on the game scoreboard. Thank you, Ace. We appreciate you. We caught Ace napping over there as he he looked up, thought he was in trouble. You're fine, Ace. You're doing a great job. So that brings us to the next batter, Wilbert Espinal. Larks now lead by 5, 7-2.
We were just talking about Espinal. This is a guy that Morwood probably doesn't want to see get on the base, as he's one of the players that's been using stolen bases to his advantage.
On the move is Duncan, and in time safely another Lark stealing a base here in this one. That is the 7th stolen base on the game for the Larks. And then they had a balk call earlier. This one will run up high, 3-0 count to Espinal.
And you have to wonder what's making the Larks do that tonight. If they've noticed scouting Wyatt Morwood, the pitcher, do they notice that he tends to pay attention to that more, or if it's because possibly the defensive struggles that they saw from Colorado last night?
Espinal will work a 4-pitch walk and will head down to first base.
And that'll be a mound meeting now for Colorado.
And this could be the end of the day, as there is a man waiting at the edge of the dugout for the Roughriders. So we'll take a quick break here on the Larks Network. So they'll go to a new pitcher here for the Colorado Roughriders. That man being Connor Griffin. As with Houston Russell coming up to bat, probably the right time to make a pitching change.
It's just the second game Connor Griffin's played in this year, only pitching one inning.
As that ball gets away from the catcher and Hernan, as advancing it to third base and advancing to second is Espinal and Duncan. So first pitch coming from Griffin down the turf. It didn't look like he was warming up before coming into the ball game, because I know you were eyeballing the bullpen, and when he came into the game, he was coming out of the dugout.
Yeah, it's kind of, like we said, it's kind of tough to see. It looked like in there right now it was number 23, Aaron Kidd, who's actually listed as an outfielder on the roster we were given.
2-0 count here to Houston Russell. Slapped out of play. Into the pool behind us. Scout moves to 2-1. Houston Russell got the sac fly RBI in his last at bat. His second RBI on the year. Hard line drive off the glove, the third baseman into left field. It goes. 1 run will score. Duncan taking his time coming home, and then coming in behind him is Espinal. Gonna believe that's ruled. It is ruled a 2 RBI double for Houston Russell as he extends his hit streak to 4 games. Brings us to the second baseman and Will Carpenter.
It was the 5th run today for the Larks after walking on a full count in the 3rd inning and would be one of the stolen bases for the Larks, something that they've worked really well with tonight.
Well, Carpenter had a 2-double performance in only his second game on the season with the Larks. That was against the Denver Cougars game. This one runs up high to Will Carpenter. Heading the count 2-1. Larks have run ruled the Roughriders in back-to-back games. Yesterday, final score of 11-1. Next pitch to Carpenter, catches the zone for strike 2. Believe Friday was 10-0, I believe. That sounds right. What was it?
It was 4-0.
Oh, that's right. My apologies. What game was it that we run ruled? It wasn't Tuesday. That was Dodge City.
I want to say it was the Denver game, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes, that's right. We've had some short games here at Larks Park because of that run rule limit. So this ball put right back up the middle, past the glove of the pitcher, running over, unable to make the play as Houston Russell is kind of in the way of it, but he has the right to the base, so good job by Russell. A heads-up play on the base path as that gets away from the shortstop and Miller, and that will be ruled a base hit for Will Carpenter. Kind of an awkward play there for the middle infield to make a play on that.
And it was pretty close for Russell. He's got to think playing back that close when the ball's coming to you and the umps possibly calling interference with it. That might actually be what the Denver coach is out there doing right now.
Yeah, I would probably be arguing it too, but at the end of the day, Russell has the right to go back to that base. And, I mean, it seems, from an outsider baseball standpoint of view, you might think, well, that's unfair, but from the real baseball point of view, that's the right thing to do. You're trying to block the infielder's point of view from it, get in his way, and then last time get out of the way so he can make the quote-unquote play. It's a tactical game sometimes. Sometimes baseball is a lot more, how do we say it, I guess tactical, a little bit more to it than it meets the naked eye. Shortstop Tabor Stokes now up to bat with a chance to drive in some more runs after his last at-bat.
And coming off of a big game where he got on base 4 times through 4 singles, has already reached on all two of his at-bats after walking in the second inning and getting a double in the third inning.
Yeah, and that double drove in 2 runs, which helped give the Larks the lead, and now has a chance to pour it on a bit more here as they are up by 7, 9-2. Only bottom of the 4th. Tonight's game starting a bit earlier at 6 o'clock. This one finds a zone for a strike. Count moves to 1-2. Most games are scheduled for 7 o'clock start time here at Larks Park, but sometimes with teams being from out of state, they'll move it up to 6 o'clock so those teams can hit the road a bit earlier. So 1-2, down low in the turf. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here the shortstop and Tabor Stokes. Russell at second, Carpenter at first. Another one down low near the turf. Full count, only 1 out still. Full count pitch. This one swung on and missed for out number 2. So it brings us to the first baseman, engage Gilchrist. Gilchrist has had a good couple of loud outs in his last 2 at-bats.
Yeah, they've been tough hits, especially that one in the second inning. I think a lot of people in the stands thought it got by, but it was a great play by the first baseman to catch the line drive.
Yeah, and that last at-bat, he almost went yard. It was right in front of the wall. He's already got 1 home run on the season. And when a guy goes deep like that in a game, it almost feels like they're due for a home run. We saw it early this season with Garrett Gruhl. There was a game where he had like two fly balls deep in the outfield, and we were like, it's about time he's going to leave the yard. In his last at-bat, he left the yard out to left center. as Gould will pop this one up. It will stay in the infield. Catcher trying to find it, and Hearn, he'll get under it and make the catch for out number 3. The Larks put on 4 more runs on the board as they extend their lead 9-2.
Now pitching for the Larks, number 31.
Has just got the word that the Larks, everything that is food and drinks wise, is half off for the game. I also heard early in the game that for the fathers here for Father's Day, it's dollar beers. So come down to Larks Park if you're in the Hayes area watching the game on the stream. If you're not in the Hayes area, we invite you to come down to the ballpark sometime, as always a fun time here at the ballpark. New pitcher into the game for the Larks in Kevin Goss, stream fan favorite. As batter up and Aaron Kittle fouled this one out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes here for Kevin Goss.
Playing in his second game on the year, has only pitched 1 inning so far. So haven't seen much of him yet this year, so it'll be interesting to see.
He actually did pitch back-to-back games. He made his first start in conference play in Tuesday's game against Dodge City A's. And then he pitched Wednesday against the Kansas Cannons down in Augusta, Kansas. His next pitch in, we found out of play. Staying alive is Aaron Kidd here with 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nolan Wilson, who had a good day on the mound, as his day will come to an end. As 6 strikeouts on the day for him through 4 innings of work. Ground ball to third baseman Lissy, who backhands it. The long throw from third base, throw over, 1-hop throw, got him. What a play by Thomas Lissy. What a way to get the first out of the 5th going for the new pitcher in Kevin Goss. Backhanded throw from the deepest part of the field for the third baseman. It was right on the third baseline near the edge of the turf and the grass that leads to the outfield. As now 1 out. Next batter up in Wes Miller, the shortstop. First pitch for Goss, misses down low.
Kind of going back to what you said, it's been really impressive how the Larks have used their pitching in this entire series to shut down Colorado. back-to-back games where the starting pitcher has gone 4 innings on the day, and Nolan Wilson did really well, just giving up 3 hits and only 2 runs and recording 6 strikeouts on the day, in which a game where he came in with just 1.
And that's the thing about the Larks is they know how to use their guys well, limit to their pitches, get the most out of them, save their arms and such throughout the whole season. And, I mean, it also helps when you can really put your trust in any one of these pitchers. As a fly ball hangs up there long enough for the center fielder and Duncan to run it down. That one looked like it might fall, but Caleb Duncan taking a hit away. A couple of nice defensive plays here in the 5th inning, as that brings us to the 9-hole hitter and Ethan Quinn.
Quinn on a 2-2 count, grounded out to the pitcher Wilson in the 2nd inning, and would be the final out of the 2nd inning, as well as the Larks try to do that for a 2nd time.
It's a little check swing. Goes foul, and the count is Kevin Goss. Next pitch runs on the inside part of the plate to the left-handed batter and Ethan Quinn. Lefty-on-lefty matchup here. Second baseman Will Carpenter playing right on the lip of the grass and turf. This one will find the zone as well. Looked like a slider or curveball. Just hanged in there and fell right in. I guess it was his curveball. There's a fastball, slider, curveball, and a changeup. Majority slider for his breaking ball pitches. This one misses the glove. Count moves to 2-2. The 2-2 from Kevin Goss. Slider into the zone. Hit to the second baseman, Will Carpenter. Kevin Goss already walking to the dugout as a 1-2-3 for Kevin Goss. Thanks to some nice defensive plays from the Hayes Larks. To the bottom 5th we go. Larks 9-2.
Here is the winning ticket number for the Cowboys. 638481. 638481. Okay, now let's give away some more prizes courtesy of the General TV.
There's your RMBL conference standings at the moment. As first pitch to Thomas Lissy, thrown out into the outfield. Center fielder and Reddy running in a bit. He'll make the catch for out number 1 here to Thomas Lissy. As shout out to the live chat. I don't know how to say that username. Mikhail Okalani. Thank you for letting us know. It's called the sliding mitt. That's what we were talking about earlier. As bring us to the top of the order, and Trent Baker now after the fly out from Thomas Lissy. Larks almost batted around last half inning.
In fact, they actually went through all 9 of their batters, starting with Lissy and ending with Gilchrist.
Next pitch to Baker. Catches his zone. Count moves to 0-2. The 0-2 to Baker. This one swung on and missed. Strike 3. And as that will be recorded as an out. Drop third strike. So that brings us to Caden Ashton, tonight's DH. 2 outs now here in the bottom of the 5th.
Ashton has reached 2 times tonight, all from errors from the second baseman in the first inning and then the first baseman in the 4th inning, and was able to score on one of those.
Taking a look around the Rocky Mountain Baseball League right now. Yesterday, the Denver Cougars, they were able to get a victory against the Fort Collins Foxes. And then the Western Nebraska Pioneer, who will actually be playing against the Larks Tuesday and Wednesday here at Larks Park, they got the win against the Dodge City A's, final score of 10-8. Dodge City A's and the Game Day Angels face off today at 7 o'clock. Western Nebraska faces off against the Liberal BJs at 7 o'clock as well. Ashton will poke this one in play on the right side. He'll stay fair, off the glove, and unable to pick it back up, but able to at the last second and put the glove on the bag to get the last out. A bang-bang play and almost another error on the Roughriders' part. But that will be a 1-2-3 for the Roughriders, their first tonight, as we'll head to the 6th inning. Larks 9-2. Keeping Goss back to the mound here for the top of the 6th as the Larks lead 9-2, as they've had 10 total base hits in the ball game compared to the Roughriders 3.
And Goss doing a great job so far coming into this game in league play. Only pitched in 1 inning, and just through 1 already has gone 3 up, 3 down with the help of his defense.
Next pitch from Goss, he put in a center field, a fly ball, but that will get down in time for a base hit for the top of the order hitter, Ian Baldwin. So bring us to the 2-hitter and Gabe Dalton. Just read a comment down in the live chat. Who are the G Angels? The G Angels are the Game Day Angels. They're based out of Parker, Colorado. The Larks travel down there on July 1st for a ball game. First pitch from Goss misses for a ball. Runner on first and Baldwin facing off against the third baseman and Gabe Dalton. This one fouled back. Let us know in the chat, who do you guys think should be this week's standout performances and hitter, pitcher, and Gold Glove players of the week? 1 ball, 1 strike here for Kevin Goss. This one swung on and missed by Dalton. Goss ahead 1-2. The 1-2 will be thrown out to left field. A high little fly ball, actually, as they'll go into the glove of Trent Baker, who will make the catch for the first out of the inning. Bringing up the catcher for the Colorado Roughriders, and Dylan Hearn.
Still 0 for 2 on the day for Dylan Hearn. The Roughriders kind of struggling with that part of their lineup where you'd actually expect some of your best hitters to come out and show up.
His first pitch out for a ball. Count moves to 1-0. Next pitch foul back off of the pole. Nice. Got a little dink sound on there. Wonder if you guys can hear that on the stream. As that'll be the first strike of the at-bat. Count moves to 1-1.
Another interesting spot that a ball has landed this year.
It's been an interesting season of foul balls already. Next pitch misses outside. Goss down 2-1. Clear skies. You can actually see the moon out in left field. Another good-sized crowd here at Larks Park tonight.
And you got to give a lot of credit to the Larks fans. Looking at it right now, currently 91 degrees, and the humidity is also playing a factor as it's at 45%. So credit to the Larks fans for showing up tonight.
This town is loyal to one thing, and that is Larks baseball. Well, they're also loyal to the Wild West Fest and things. As a ground ball, shortstop, and Stokes on the second for 1, on the first, double play. Another double play for the Hayes Larks, their second of the game. As we'll head to the bottom of the 6th, Larks 9-2.
Did the other one just stay up when he hits it up here?
A special happy Father's Day to all the Larks players, fathers watching tonight's game, and also all the fans who are watching as well. This game is dedicated to you guys. We appreciate you guys so much. As the bottom of the 6th underway, Caleb Duncan to get us going.
He's reached all 3 times so far in this game, singling in the first inning and then walking on a full count in the 3rd inning where he would eventually score to give the Larks the 3-2 lead. and then he also get home again on an E4 in the 4th inning.
Ground ball in the play. The shortstop backhands that one to throw to first. A good hurry-up throw, but not in time. Duncan outruns the throw from the shortstop and Miller, and now go down as a base hit, and Caleb Duncan will reach base again.
A lot of credit to Duncan there. Really got the burners going as he was just barely able to beat out the throw.
Cleanup batter, Wilbert Espinal now up to bat.
Another Larks player that's reached every time he stepped up to the plate. Was walked in the 1st inning and then the 4th inning as well, but had a single in the 3rd inning where he would score on those 2.
His first pitch to Espinal finds a zone for the first strike of the at-bat. Next pitch down low. Count moves to 1-1 here to the Murray State Community College native and future Alabama State man and Wilbert Espinal. Hard hit ball past the second baseman into center field. Espinal will reach base again. And now heading to second base is Duncan. He'll be held there as Espinal another base hit and another Lark on.
And that's now a runner in scoring position. The Larks could possibly put up 3 runs this inning, and then if they hold in the top of the inning, we got back-to-back run rules in this series.
Bringing up the catcher in Houston Russell, as I believe that's why we don't have a beverage batter tonight, is because of the deals we have for Father's Day and the rest of the night, half-off drinks and everything. As I was just thinking about that before Houston Russell came up to bat. As that pitch finds his zone for strike 1 of the at-bat. 3 RBI day for him already. 2 RBI double in his last at-bat. This one on a line, but foul. Duncan at second, Espinal at first. Looked like a changeup or some sort of off-speed pitch. Swung on a miss, strike 3 for the first out here in the bottom of the 6th. Bringing us to Will Carpenter, the second baseman.
He's reached 2 times today in the 3rd and the 4th inning through a walk where he would eventually score the 5th run of the game for the Larks, and then a single in the 4th inning where he would be stranded for the rest of the inning.
Nobody holding Duncan on at second base. His first pitch to Carpenter misses for a ball. Connor Griffin still on the mound for the Roughriders as a fly ball sent out to center field. Doesn't have to move too much as center fielder. He'll make the catch, but he doesn't get around the ball, so Duncan takes advantage of it, and he'll head to third. Sack fly for Will Carpenter advances Duncan to third base. Great job by Caleb Duncan realizing that the center fielder and Reddy, he wasn't behind the ball. Therefore, he had to make the catch and then take a couple crow hops to be able to throw the ball to third.
Got to give a lot of credit to the Larks just using base running really well, being strategic, and just watching the defense and taking what it gives them.
Speaking about base running, Tabor Stokes up to bat now. His first pitch to him finds his zone. Read one of the comments now has said Tabor Stokes should be player of the week, and you know what? He might be, because he's had a heck of a week. On the bat side, on the glove side, he's been doing it so well. Next pitch to Stokes popped up. This one might get out of play, and it will. Scout moves to 0-2 here at the shortstop and Tabor Stokes. The 0-2 to Stokes popped up and over our heads of the press box. Stokes stays alive. No balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs here. Base hit can drive in a run. Good eye by Stokes, letting that one go on the outside part of the plate. Larks have a lot of discipline in the batter's box this season. It's the 1-2, another good eye. Count moves to 2-2. On the Butler Community College page, they asked Tabor Stokes what motivates him, and he says, "My parents, seeing how hard they work, pushes me to be just like them." Gotta love those fine words from Tabor Stokes as he gets a base hit into right field, and that will score another run. The Larks have reached double digits as they lead 10-2.
And they reached double digits for a second night in a row.
So Caleb Duncan comes around to score. Stokes gets another RBI.
Gilchrist now up, still in search of his first hit, but he has done has had 2 really hard hit balls, one in the 3rd inning to right field, and then in the 2nd inning, had a hard line drive to the first baseman.
He is due, is what we're saying, because he's been, like you said, he's been getting a hold of the ball in his first 2 at-bats. Next pitch to Gilchrist, swung on and miss. Down 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. This one staying alive is Gilchrist as he'll foul this one back. Gilchrist in the 3 conference games he's played in, he's had an extra base hit in 2 of the 3 games. Another good eye from a Lark batter as Gilchrist will watch this one go low. Espinal at second. Stokes over at first. The 1-2. Fouled off by Gilchrist. Gilchrist, who rocks the yellow batting gloves, similar to Garrett Gruhl. Almost reminds you of an electrician's gloves.
And I made the joke earlier in the season that might mean he's going to bring a lot of power to the plate.
It goes well with the red, white, and blue for some reason. I don't know what it is, but it just looks good.
Can't disagree with it.
Gilchrist is batting .571 on the year heading into this game. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on. This one hit down the right field line and goes foul. Stokes head back to first, and Espinal head back to second.
It's now 7 pitches thrown on this at-bat.
The 2-2. Good eye from Gilchrist yet again as that one's missing low, and he's back into the count. Full count, 2 away. Both runners at first and second will be on the move, and Espinal at second and Stokes at first. A base hit for Gilchrist could possibly drive in 2 now. This one swung on a miss, strike 3. Griffin gets the punch out he was looking for, as that will end the 6th inning. To the 7th we go. Larks put another run on the board. 10-2, Hayes Larks. There's our upcoming middle of the week schedule set for this week. Tuesday and Wednesday, they'll face off against the Western Nebraska Pioneers. Start time 7 o'clock, both those games. And then Friday will be game 1 of the 3-game series against the Game Day Angels, as they'll come down here for a few games.
And checking in for the first time this season in league play is Fort Hays State native number 14, Luke Derbeek.
Yeah, Luke Derbeek, he made his first outing on the season in the home opener against the Dodge City A's. Did really good over 2 innings of work. Only allowed 1 base runner. 1 hit, no walks, no strikeouts. He just came in and did the job. His next pitch here to the cleanup batter and William Gizriel. Derbeek finds the zone and now counts even, or correction, count is now full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. The right-handed thrower in Luke Derbeek from the Netherlands, the 3-2. This one fouled out of play. We talked about it. I guess you weren't here for his first one. I talked about it a little bit. Derbeek had not pitched this year at all for baseball. He pitched for Fort Hays State, and things ended there in his junior season. And he was out hanging out in the Netherlands with his fiancée as the high fly ball to Trent Baker out on left is caught for the first out. But I think he was picking tomatoes with his fiancée, and he got a call from Frank Leo, and he asked him, he was like, "Hey, would you like to come play again for the Larks this summer?" And he said, "Yeah, he wanted to come play for sure." As he came down, and I mean, he's well rested. We know that. And he's been doing good ever since he came back. As another fly ball to Baker out and left makes the catch for out number 2. Duncan and Baker flipping the ball around out there. Both outs coming from Baker out and left. So that brings us to the next batter and Cannon Frost.
And that's 3 flyouts for Baker in 2 innings.
His first pitch here to Frost finds his own first strike. Derbeek throws a fastball, knuckle curve, circle change, a cutter, and then a real knuckleball. Next pitch swung on and missed. Derbeek ahead 0-2. Batter takes time and adjusts his batting gloves as he'll have to try to stay alive here with no balls and 2 strikes to Luke Derbeek. Good eye from the batter. Count moves to 1-2. In his first start back, I talked with Derbeek about it. Or not first start, but first appearance back. He said mainly threw fastballs in his first start. First time on the mound in 10 months, he said. The next pitch fouled out of play. So head back to the 1-2 count again for Luke Derbeek versus Cannon Frost. This one swung on a miss, strike 3. First punch out on the year for Luke Derbeek comes in the 1-2-3, top of the 7th. Get on your fans' feet at home as we are at the 7th inning stretch, as we'll give you a couple tunes here on the Larks Network. right-handed pitcher out of Lakewood, Colorado, and Matthew Morbin will take over on the mound for the Roughriders as 9-1-2 due up for the Larks. Thomas Lissy to get us going. Trent Baker on deck and Caden Ashton in the hole.
And Matthew Morbin, actually a pitcher that we've seen in this series in Game 1, where he just pitched 1 inning, throwing 19 pitches, but was able to record 2 strikeouts in that game.
First pitch here to Lissy will find the zone for the first strike of the day for Morbin. Almost at the 2-hour mark in this one. This game's been going by fairly quickly. Next pitch from Morbin, taking for a ball. Count moves 1-1. Let's see, we'll throw this one to the second baseman. Off the hop is Quinn. He'll throw it over to first, but not in time. The underhand throw, unable to beat Lissy to the bag. So that will be another base knock for Thomas Lissy.
And again, it's another play that we've seen quite a bit. And I'd have to guess it's because you're playing on turf. The ball just becomes more bouncy and it gets to the fielder slower. So the runners are able to take advantage of it.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest differences between turf and, regular dirt infields is the ball is a lot quicker, but it's a lot bouncier. Some players prefer the normal field where with dirt and everything. However, we've seen over the past few years that turf has just become kind of a normal thing for college baseball fields. Takes a lot less maintenance as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think a lot of fields in college fields in Kansas do it. Of course, you got Fort Hays here at Larks Park, K-State with Toynton Family Stadium. I believe Wichita State as well also has a turf field.
Wichita State is actually where the NBC World Series is held. As Baker, this one runs inside on him, but he will be not get hit by the pitch. The NBC World Series is something you cannot miss, especially if you're a Larks fan. Last year was my first time going to the tournament, and it was an awesome atmosphere. They treat it like an MLB game. This one clips Baker on the back as he will head down to first via the hit by pitch. Bringing up the DH, Caden Ashton now. Lissy's over at second, and Baker's over at first.
Ashton already reached 2 times tonight, both of those being errors in the first and fourth inning, and one of those he was able to score on. And the Larks also already have the winning run with Baker on first, as it would be a 10 after 7 run rule.
That is a great point. I did not even think about that. Ashton could end it with one swing. Shows bunt, pops it up, and goes over the press box. Barely. The 1-1 to Ashton. He'll lay this bunt down in fair territory right in front of the catcher. The throw to first, not in time. Ashton legs out a bunt single, and the bases are now loaded with the winning run at second base.
It almost looked like he put backspin on the ball as well, as it was kind of headed towards the pitcher Morbin and then just stopped in place.
It was almost like he was at the golf course and got his wedge out and just had a little backspin on it. It was beautiful. As now that brings up Caleb Duncan with the bases loaded and no out still.
A solid base hit could win it right here for the Larks.
First pitch to Duncan, down and away. Since the game could end right now, I need to figure out who's going to be our post-game interview guys for tonight. I'd say Tabor Stokes. I think Tabor Stokes is probably the way to go. for the batting side. Ground ball to the right side. That will score 1 run. Being waved home is Trent Baker. The throw in from the outfield. Not in time. Ball game over. Larks win 12-2 here at Larks Park. As I'll let Hank take it over from here, as I'll head down the field for the post-game interview. Take it away, Hank.
Hello, Larks, and will bring us to our post-game show. And the Larks get a 3-0 series sweep against the league leader entering the series, Colorado, after outscoring them in this entire series 29-3, as Nick Helgett heads down to the field to get ready for our post-game interview.
The Larks now go to 8-2 on the season. They sweep the weekend series with Colorado. Go 5-1.
Apologize for the break real fast. Had to connect the crowd mic as Nick Helgett heads to the field for the post-game interview. Game ended a little quicker than we thought it would, but it was a great series for the Larks, doing a great job on the pitching tonight as they pitched 4 innings tonight and getting started strong with Nolan Wilson getting 6 strikeouts on the day, and Kevin Goss pitching 2 innings after that, only giving up 1 hit on 26 pitches, and Luke Turbeck finishing it off for the win for the Larks. And the bats tonight were really hot once again. Going down, looking at Caden Ashton getting on 3 times for 2 errors and a single as well. And then below him in the 3 spot, Caleb Duncan had 2 singles on the day, 3 singles, which included the game winner. And now that will bring us to our player interview as Nick Helgett's on the field.
Thank you, Ken. I'm here with Nolan Wilson. 4 innings of work tonight, 6 strikeouts. What was going right for you?
Really settled in after that first inning, a little rough, but started spinning the breaking ball well and got through it.
What do you have to say about the bats that came up for you tonight? 12 runs for the whole game. What do you guys say about them?
Makes pitching a whole hell lot easier.
Awesome. Thank you, Nolan. Tabor, I got to be honest with our live chat. They kept talking about how you should be the player of the week. You've been doing so well. 4 for 4 yesterday, a couple base hits today. What's been going right for you?
Well, I just been waiting to get my pitch and seeing my pitch and just hitting it. And that's really all it's been.
And you guys got the sweep, and you guys are in first place in the RMBL. What is the goal? Is it a World Series, or is it just you come here and keep getting better for you?
I think a little bit of both, but this team, we want to win a World Series.
Awesome. Thank you, Tabor. Back to you, Ken.
Thanks to Nolan.
So that was Nick Helgett with our players of the game as the Larks get a 3-0 sweep against the Roughriders to improve their record to 5-1 in league play. And when Nick comes back up, we will have our post-game coverage when we come back.
Oh, no, sorry. Mike was not muted. Oh well. Post-game show. Here we go. As the Larks get a walk-off victory thanks to Caleb Duncan's his two RBIs single to end this one. The Larks are now 5-1 in the standings, and they're looking strong throughout the year. What we got to talk about tonight's performances, especially on the pitching side and the defensive side.
Yeah, I'm running out of things to say. The Larks just did the same thing all weekend, using the pitching to their example. Great start from Nolan Wilson, going 4 innings. He gave up 3. He did give up 2 runs, but was able to get 6 strikeouts on the day and only allowing 3 hits, and then got backed up by his relief guys after that, with Kevin Goss coming in, only pitching 2 innings and getting a lot of help from his defense as he threw 26 pitches and only gave up 1 hit. And then Luke Turbeck finished it off, getting a strikeout on 13 pitches in just 1 inning.
Great performances on the pitching side and defensive side. It was a beautiful game. The batting side killed it again. 12 runs, 15 hits. You can't make this stuff up. The Larks have just been on point, and I like what you said. We're running out of things to say. When you're doing this well over a course of just 3 games against the same team, you run out of stuff to say. They saw the Roughriders well all series long. They knew what to do with their bats. They silenced a team that was hot going into this series. And we look on the batting side. Wilbert Espinal, another great day. 2 for 2 day, 2 walks, 2 singles. Caleb Duncan had that 2 RBI singles last at bat. He had a 3-hit day and a stolen base and walk on top of that. Trent Baker, single hit by pitch as well. Houston Russell, 3 RBI day. Will Carpenter, he got on base, a walk and a single, stolen base, run scored. Tabor Stokes, who was our post-game interview, what a great guy, as I was happy to talk with him for the first time this year. He had a good day, 2 for 3, a walk, 3 RBIs, a double, and a stolen base, a run scored as well. And, I mean, everyone else, too. Thomas Lissy, look at him down the bottom of the order. He had a great day, too. 2 for 3 day, a walk, 2 singles, a run scored. What a day, what a series for the Larks. They get the day off tomorrow, and then they'll face off against the Western Nebraska Pioneers here on Tuesday and Wednesday. First pitch, 7 o'clock. Hank, you got any final notes for us?
Not much you can say. Great series sweep, but now you got to turn right around and face a Western Nebraska team that has looked hot so far through their first year in the Rocky Mountain Baseball League.
Yeah, that'll be a very interesting couple of games. Like I said, their first year and such, and they've made some dominant performances on the field. So we'll have to wait and see till Tuesday. Tomorrow, day off, but make sure to be tuned in with us Tuesday at 7 o'clock, 6:30, 6:40, around the pregame show start time. Larks pull away, 12-2 victory through 7 innings. Thank you guys so much. Wish you all well. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great night.